Yo, what's going on, guys? Markstrom here. Today, I have a treat for you. We were recently interviewed by the man, the myth, Dan Gheesling, while doing an awesome interchange raid. We go over all the Battle State games and Tarkov hype for the recent drop promotion they've done with Twitch, and just talk about life in general. Meanwhile, we get many PMC kills and have a blast doing it. So kick back, relax, enjoy the interview and all the awesome action.
Hello.
Hey, boss.
Yo.
What's going on, brother?
You tell me. Urban Meyer personally visited your stream. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. You know, I've learned to let a lot of things go, Dan.
I mean, you had the entire everyone in Twitch was watching your stream. We're gonna jump right into it, Markstrom.
Yeah, hit me.
Dude, the glow up, the explosion, the Tarkanaissance.
The Tarkanaissance.
First off, what map are we gonna play so I can meet you? You want to type it to me? I'll type it to you.
Sure. Yeah, hit me in Discord if you can.
While we're doing that,
yep.
What do you think of the Tarkanaissance?
It's a beautiful thing to see, and not just like, I'd say not just for the sake of like all the casters that are getting all the love, which is obviously beautiful, but I'm really happy for BSG, man. They take a lot on the chin for a very long time, and I would say that their ability to time this with one of the best periods in the game that we've ever seen in the last 3 years is super impressive and well-earned love. So makes me happy, man.
That's some interesting insight because, you know, I think the game's been fun for a while, but you kind of nailed it where it's like, arguably this is like the best time in Tarkov history in terms of stability, so much stuff to do.
Yes. Yeah. But content wise, it's just completely unmatched from anything in the past. And the most recent patch that they dropped like right before this was really great too. I mean, it was all very clearly well thought out, and to see that from I guess the dev team of the game that I main and have mained for so long is just so incredibly reassuring. For them to understand like the value of all of that is just awesome, right? So it just makes me feel good about the future and continuing on the Tarky path.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. I was thinking about it from like a drop standpoint. There's a lot of ways that I don't say this could go wrong, but it just seems like it's such an organic fit for the way it was designed for Tarkov, where you have loot that drops in that's useful but doesn't wreck the economy. I mean, it's affected the economy, but it doesn't ruin it or ruin the game in any stretch of the imagination. What do you feel about like the drop implementation?
You know, I think like no matter what you do, we're gonna see like significant impacts on the economy when you're just dropping all that loot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say like it would be a bigger deal if the economy was in a more stable place to begin with, but in reality it's really not.
What do you mean?
Well, just like money in this game is just like near useless. It is Minji new patch. I am jumping in there right this second.
Okay, cool. So you're
I had
saying
to
money in this
build a
game?
little something up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, say that again.
You're saying money in this game is
very easy to come by. It's like really easy to exploit the economy if you're paying attention.
well, hit me with like for someone that doesn't pay attention. Like I'm not saying it for you to spoil the economy, but hypothetically speaking, if someone's like, hey, Markstrom, how would I spoil the economy and use it to my personal gain? What would you maybe?
Well, there's tons of circumstances, especially with all the new players, where they are they're selling things cheaper than you can vendor them for. Nobody is checking vendor prices to like if you wanted to hit Elvira versus like put it on the flea market. So, I mean, there are just like incredibly cheesy ways. Like you can just jump on to the flea market and buy like hundreds of items that are cheaper than you vendor it for, and then you just vendor it, and you're printing money.
Can I? And I rarely push back, but can I push back at you?
Of course.
What if that's like? Because I'm not saying that I put up pipe and hot deals all the time on the flea market and undercut, but like, do you think that's part of the game? Like someone that's smart enough to know the economy, or do you think that wrecks it? Like by
no,
me,
I think like little things.
I
think little things like that are a matter of experience and should be gained from, right? Because it shows A, you're paying attention, and B, you kind of know that at a certain point, like level 4 traders, you might get better value there than the flea market. So it's a matter of experience, which is great. I would say there are other game mechanics though that tie more into what I meant by cheesing money, right? Whether it's hatchet runs or etc.
Yeah, no, I got you. Real quick, just a quick update. If you guys are just tuning in on my side, we are interviewing Markstrom, longtime friend of the show, part of the Tarkov. And I want to pivot real quick. So I think, was it yesterday or 2 days ago that you were #1 on Twitch? Was that yesterday?
It was Friday. Yeah, 2 days
Friday.
ago.
Okay.
Yep.
So when that happened, that's that's not an everyday occurrence.
No, it is not.
Were you completely aware of what was going on at the time, or were people in your chat being like, "Hey," like how did it go down for you?
I definitely well, it was very clear. Basically, it was very clear when the chat absolutely exploded. But a lot of it was like people told me to brace for impact, and I kind of knew what was happening right away. That was like I received a lot of messages like, "Hey, this is happening," and of course our good friend Deadly Slob, fellow member of the Marksmen, came in with an absolute monstrous host and raid.
Hey,
and
real quick, let's stick to the outside because this will be just a one raid interview.
Yeah, you got it.
But so I don't want
you lead the way. I'm right behind you.
So Deadly Slob with the, I don't know if an Urban Meyer sized raid.
Yeah, you could say that. Definitely national championship caliber.
Okay.
And then right behind that was Cotton. So it was a bit of a coordinated attack, and of course, lo and behold, #1 slot was acquired, and hype was had.
So #1, I'm just smiling thinking about that for you. But #2, ooh, I didn't know that was there.
Oh yeah, get in there,
please. Yo, what this? I thought I knew a bunch of stashes. I don't know anything. So when that happened, like, what's going through your mind?
I would say,
Thank you, Bella.
I don't think, I'm not necessarily like rattled by those situations. I feel like I've been doing it long enough to be excited and but also like be in the moment and do my best just to provide the entertainment that all those beautiful faces are looking for, or try to at least do my best. That's all you can do. And yeah, it was exciting. I will say that unfortunately that was like right around the absolute peak hours for the servers and for Escape from Tarkov. So my ability to play the game at that point was highly diminished, unfortunately. So we were just kind of kicking it and chatting, which honestly may be a best case scenario for me. I don't know. Go ahead.
Did you hear that stuff behind us?
He's dead.
Okay, nice shot.
There's another.
I'm gonna try to
Also
wrap
dead.
on the other side. Okay, never mind. So, you think there's more?
I think there's a little too, man.
Okay. Were those players or?
Yeah,
scams?
yeah, they're PMCs.
Yeah, let's go check them. So I think that's interesting. So, okay, so here you are, #1 on Twitch, and the game that you want to play isn't working.
You got the backpack. Get all up in there. I didn't even bring a backpack.
But so how did you pivot? You know what I mean? Like what were you thinking? Okay, hey, this is an ideal, but you're not throwing, for lack of a better term, the baby out with the bathwater. Like,
Sure.
what are you thinking?
Well, I think, you got to stick to your strengths in those situations. And one of my very few strengths is the ability to explain things relatively well. So I just tried to cater to a lot of the newer people who are tuning into the game for the first time, didn't know what it was about, and answer those questions and just provide them with the best, working framework that I could for like what to expect from the game and how to do the drop system and then just general like tips and tricks for newer players that we're trying to improve their game and maybe not die in every raid if we can make that happen.
And then were you able to do any runs, or was it like completely like?
Yeah, we were
frozen?
able to get in there a little bit. I don't know if we had a single successful run while we were in there. Maybe a couple. I actually think we had in the first raid that we got into after a little bit of after a few issues. I think we had a nice little 3-man squad wipe, so that felt good.
Nice. So when did you decide to like wrap it up? Like, how long were you in the rare air of Twitch?
Yeah, so I was like, I think I was live for like 10 or 11 hours before it happened.
Okay.
So obviously like that kind of hype is an infusion of energy. Sorry, you're leading the way. Do your thing.
Yeah, it's all good.
So I felt good for a really long time. But then like a mix between exhaustion set in at maybe like the 14-hour mark and just the servers not working at all. So, and then also a lot of it had to do with like, I received that beautiful love and I want to pass that on and hook up another marksman down the line. And Peebs was on and I knew he had like maybe like 2 hours left. So I wanted to hook it up before he was like almost at end, I didn't want to hit him with like 30 minutes to spare, so to speak. So
that was, insightful and kind of you, but not surprising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's a group effort, man. No one does anything alone, right? So
you shut down the stream, and then what happens? Like, what's your like? I mean, you got to talk about it with the significant other, right? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, she was obviously incredibly stoked. My dad and my fiance Alexandra were texting back and forth in like a group message. So I went through and I looked at like everything that they were saying during the stream and stuff, and they were just mad happy, obviously.
I gotta ask you a personal detail about the text message. Were there any, because it would require a specific knowledge of Twitch. Were there any texted Twitch emojis in the text chain?
I don't think either of them are technologically capable of getting those emojis in there, but yeah, there might be some limitations on that front, particularly on my dad's side of things. But there are some friends I definitely rock the Twitch emojis in the text messages. It's a nice way to, I mean, you get to a point, right, where like it becomes such a useful part of communication with people who understand like what you're trying to say, like how can you not drop a pog to your friends every now and again,
That's, I don't know if you pogged up your dad or whatever, but like, do you feel like they understood the severity is not the right word, but the
significance maybe
of that? Did they understand that?
Well,
you think?
I think if anyone's going to downplay the significance, it might be me. Just because like I understand that, it's one thing to like build up to that. It's another thing to get rated. And while I obviously appreciate that kind of support and that kind of hype moment, and I recognize that odds are good I will never be in the 1 slot again on Twitch. Like that's probably it ever. And I could still have a very long fruitful career as a broadcaster and have that never happen again, right? I think that it's probably not channel changing. Usually something like that is not, having seen it like a lot in the past and others. But
what do you mean by that not channel changer?
I don't think that it affects like the day-to-day eyes on the channel necessarily. If that makes sense. I will say, I think we did garner like 5,000 followers on Friday, which is which is chonky. I will say that that's definitely a channel record for a day. But you know, if you know, I don't think it comes close to even like 10% of day-to-day return or anything like that, and that's okay. I just kind of look at it as basically it was a really sick day, is an awesome memory, and I think we did the best that we could with it, and it was a lot of fun. But I don't think it's like any more significant than that. Like and it's a weird position to be in because there's so many people that have sent messages like, hey, that was really cool, that was really wild, like you deserve all that love and support, and you should have all those viewers. So I think somebody like sent like congratulations, like you made it. And my first thought is like it's kind of like, man, I appreciate that, but you clearly don't understand the way this works, you know?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, there's just like, it's just nobody's making it from receiving a raid or a host on this platform. And as much as like people think exposure is everything, and I'm a big believer that like you have to work to continually, I guess, groom yourself as an entertainer, and work on your own content to get to a certain point to where if you do get that kind of exposure, that you can hold on to all those people and continue to entertain them on the day-to-day, right? Like it takes being at that point first. And I think I have personally like a lot of room to grow on that front. So,
well, dude, that's one of the things I love about you is like clearly it's a monumental moment, but it sounds like you're taking it with a grain of salt. And one of the things I want to ask you about, you mentioned, I want to double back to, you
Sure.
said like you getting that host versus building up is very different. Can you explain what you mean by that? Because someone listening right now may not fully understand what you mean by like, hey,
of course,
you get hosted by that. You made it.
Yeah. So
let's check this ramp. Oh, there's a guy coming down the ramp. You got him?
Dead.
Nice. Is that player?
Maybe.
I think he's chunk.
Maybe.
He's got some chunk.
I saw a pilgrim, I think. Yeah. So I would say, so when somebody raids and hosts, it's significantly significantly different than building up to that point, like viewer wise. The basic difference is that like if you're building to that point, then you have like a sizable audience to where you can like basically get out in, I guess, I don't know. I don't really like to look at things like a horse race, but there's no way to like, I don't think phrase this without saying something along these lines, is that like if you're in like the lead, so to speak, in the category, and people continue to pour into the category for Tarkov while things are so hype, right? Then odds are they're gonna go to like the top of the list and see what's going on, and people will be stoked for whoever's has the most viewers for Tarkov. If you're a Tarkov fan, it's an exciting week, right? So it's one thing to be that guy who just has that base and then continues to build and build and build in an organic way, but it's definitely significantly less organic to receive a raid and host, basically another broadcaster who has that big chunky audience and then brings them over in a forcible fashion. Hey, check out this guy now, he's my friend, and they may stay, they may not. It's just a significantly less organic experience. You're gonna want to check that pilgrim, Dan.
No. Don't tell me.
No, you're gonna want to check that pilgrim.
Don't tell me.
And this guy had a Jackie on him. The Jackie brought the luck.
Dude, I wish I could, but this is all you.
What do you mean, Dan?
Dude, it's
It was a sign. He had a Jackie on him. This wasn't meant for me, Dan.
I know, but you didn't come in with the backpack, and I came in with the highest amount of greed on my back. You got to take it, man. That's one of the deals with the interviews. I'll take
right.
your first two wipes. You get the next two.
All right.
But I think that's cool, man, because and one of the things you said is like people send you messages saying you deserved it, and I was thinking about. Oh, you want to go? You take the lead now.
Sure.
I was thinking about that, and it's like I don't necessarily like the term deserve, but it's definitely, I would think, earned. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like,
I agree with that. I too think that like nothing is deserved, right, when it comes to I guess like any entertainment business, right? Like there's no there are no guarantees, right? Like just because you put in a certain amount of effort doesn't mean you get a certain amount of juice back, right? I think like it's possible to continue to like work towards something and have like that kind of perseverance to have days like that, right? I mean, after 4.5 years, I think I consider myself incredibly lucky to have a day like that, right? And part of it, right, is creating a foundation of fellow broadcasters that I'm passionate about working with on the daily, like the marksman, and yeah, I mean that worked out, to my benefit that day, right? So everything is like, I would say like all situations like that are just a culmination of a lot of little decisions that you make for the sake of just doing your best on the platform, or I guess very easily extrapolated to pretty much anything else in life, right? Like here's some of all the little decisions you make every day.
Yeah, no, and I think that probably backed with the effort and hard work you put behind it. Oh,
We're good.
You get him? Okay. Dude, you hear more steps? Okay, that was you. You're very efficient with your bullets. Holy Toledo.
We're all about the one click here, Dan.
So taking it from micro level to a macro level,
Sure.
The Tarkonnissance going on right now. What's your take on what's going on right now on a broader level on Twitch with Tarkov and beyond? In terms of what you think's going on in this moment right now.
Yeah, so I will say this, and I think this is like something that's not often. I will say it's not often considered, or I haven't seen it often considered through like all the talking abouts on Twitter and whatnot, is the fact that when you have a drop system like this, viewer numbers are significantly inflated, and not just in the sense that like people are AFKing channels, but they're AFKing multiple channels. So a single person can count as like 12 viewers in a category, right? If they can get 12 streams to run at once overnight, then they can literally not even be there and be counting for 12 people in the Tarkov group, right? Which is boosting the game to the top. And I don't think Twitch necessarily is bothered too much by this fact. I don't think they care. One, they are selling that number to advertisers, right? The whole time. So they're making money on like that person counting multiple times. And then they're also making money in the sense where, this shows the efficacy of these drop programs, which they obviously sell to the developer, right?
So the next developer,
yeah,
behind the scenes is gonna pay more than Tarkov did. Because
people see this, right? And they're like, "Oh, we need a drop system for our game." Players here, quite a few. There's a player inside of this door. PMC.
How do you want to play this? Just chill. You want me to open it?
He heard us for certain. I have a flashbang. You wanna go for like the open, and I'll flash in, and then we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Does this door open out or in?
That's a great question. I don't think it'll matter. Well, we'll find out. Probably in would be my guess. So you might want to do it from the other side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You tell me when to hit the F button, I'll hit it.
Now.
He's there.
Dead. 2 dead. I'm reloading. I'm gonna hold the far end. You close that door and get looting, Dan.
I'm gonna close it back there. Yo.
Not too bad, bud.
Oh, that was a hot. You hot boxed him. Oh, I don't know what that means, but it sounds like. Oh, dude, they're sauced.
I think it was more of a Dutch oven situation, Dan.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but they were trapped in a box and you smoked them out. I don't know what hot box is, but I'm starting to maybe feel that it's not what I think it is. Dude, that was a phenomenal play.
Couldn't have done it without you.
You know, my door opening skills are, are with the
second
best
to
of them.
none. Second to none.
Oh! You know what he had in there?
What do you have in there?
It's the single most rare item in Escape from Tarkov.
The gold chain.
But I can't take it.
What do you mean? This is Dan. This entire raid has been fate. This is all the Dan juice.
All right, you don't have to twist my arm on that
Oh,
one. But
yeah.
there's a lot of other stuff. Will you please come take it?
Yeah, I'll come grab a little something, something.
Also, how you doing on hydration and stuff?
I'm great.
Okay.
All good. How about yourself?
I'm just topping off right now. So you have 4 PMC kills right now? Casual?
Casual.
Oh, good. I'm glad this is, it's been a good raid.
And a good raid.
So I think that's interesting that you bring up like, an analytical, I wouldn't say non-hype, but more realistic take on, hey,
Yeah.
here's...
That all being said, I think regardless, the number of eyes on Tarkov is massively increased, and it benefits everyone involved, right? So it benefits Twitch, it benefits the advertisers, it benefits the current casters of the game, obviously, and it benefits Battlestate Games. So like it's a win-win-win-win situation, just with the way that it works. So I don't think like they necessarily have to change anything analytically speaking, like on the back end. So I think it just works out well.
What's your thoughts or your prediction? Let's go crazy predictions here. What's your prediction when drops end? What do you think happens, say tomorrow? And also you take all, like I left a lot of the sauce, really all the sauce.
I would say over the next 2 weeks, we still see like very inflated numbers, and I think things start to drop off again. I think a lot of that is just people will recognize that the game is not super easy to get into and be good at and be accessible. So part of it is that learning curve, and then the other part is I guess just like the novelty will wear off. Like everyone is going to try it, right? And that's great, but I think realistically, this isn't a game that can be played every single day by a lot of people. A lot of variety casters are going to be on it for a couple of weeks, but then also like we have the whole situation of like appeasing their community. Like I see a lot of people already like very, I guess for lack of a better term, triggered that Co is only playing Tarkov for like the last couple of weeks, or not last couple of weeks, but I don't know, it's been maybe 10 days, and they just miss his normal cast, and that's totally understandable. And Co, just very calmly, the veteran that he is, just breaks it down. Hey, I'm really enjoying this right now, and while I'm really enjoying this, I'm gonna play it, and we'll get back to the regularly scheduled cast soon. And that's all you can do, So
yeah, I'm familiar with Co, and I've like tuned into him over like the past couple years, just now and then. But I did see it was really an interesting moment to like learn and take away as a streamer. But I was watching him play Tarkov because it's fun to watch new people play Tarkov. And he's playing, and someone goes, "Oh, someone's at the end of the hall." Corner, right corner. I tried to pump as much as I could.
He's dead.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's juicy too, bud. That was perfect. That was actually like the most perfect covering fire because I was so deep in those pockets, man. And he was looking at your side, and there's a nice little tree right here. This little
Oh, dude,
Man.
thank you. Because I think must have shot 1,000 rounds and maybe hit one.
Yeah.
But so someone came into his chat and was like, "Hey, why are you only playing Tarkov just for the hype?" And he's like, "No, I really enjoy it." And really, what he did, it was really pretty. To me, it told me a lot about him as a broadcaster. He pivoted and said, "Hey, I'm lucky I get to do this, and my community a lot, lets me do this." And I'm like, what a great way to turn like someone trying to stir the pot and cause trouble into like, hey, it's a fun game. And
Code's about as good as it gets. He's actually the very first broadcaster that like I enjoyed and looked up to that I met in person in like at PAX East 2015 in Boston. It was like my first time on the floor. I was on the floor for like 5 minutes. I saw Ko and I got a picture, and I still look back at that picture very fondly. It was a big moment for me. I was like, holy crap, these people are real. I can see them in person.
That's cool. Have you ever tweeted that photo out?
No. I may have shown it on Cast.
On your wall in your bedroom.
Yeah. Alexander's not happy about it, but yeah, I think a lot of people would at some point tweet it out and like tag Ko and but you see there's like obviously a ton of implications with like that, and I would never do that. It's a nice memory to have. I'm cool with it as that. So
that's cool, man. So on the macro level, so you're like, okay, hey, these so a bunch of variety streamers or whatnot may kind of go back to the regular programming, maybe not. So on a macro level, the Tarkov numbers go down. But you think the growth, I mean, oh my gosh, these guys were loaded.
It's insane.
I mean, I'm not saying this is our best duo run of all time, but I'm not saying that.
I hear you.
So you think on a macro level, though, things will stay up for Tarkov in the long run?
Overall, it's going to be a significant net positive, I think, for everyone involved. Maybe not as much for me specifically, but like for my friends Cotton and Deadly Slob, who A, have been doing this longer, and B, have more larger established communities. I think that we will see like really, I think I'm putting things into this and you're taking it out.
Like, oh, are you taking the Tic Tac?
I was planning on it.
Okay. No, I got you.
My business is a little dilapidated. Thank you. I think that they see significant return from this event, right? Whereas I think for someone like me who like before this event was averaging somewhere around like, I don't know, 500 or so viewers, we'll see it less so, and it is less deserved. I think that is everything working as intended.
And then your take on where, like, so what you said something interesting. I think we should get out of here. I don't know about you.
Sorry, say that again.
I think we should get out of here. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you lead us out of here?
Absolutely. Let's see where are we headed. Actually, the other side of the map. So. Okay.
You brought up something interesting. You said that, not in these words, but you said the viability of a lot of people to play this game isn't necessarily there. Like, maybe it's not easily accessible because of how. Hold on, let me double check these guys real quick. Sorry.
Absolutely.
What's better, Gen 3 or Battle Mag? Do you think it doesn't matter? They're both bad.
Troy Battle Mag? Or what are we looking at there?
Yeah, Troy.
Those Troy Battle Mags are the best.
Okay. But in terms of
the biggest change is the ergonomic hit that you're going to take to the gun. All mags give you an ergonomic hit, and the Troys are the lowest, meaning that with them in, you'll be able to ADS the fastest and ADS the quietest.
Oh. But you mentioned like the viability of like the average person to play this game. Do you think so you just don't think that because of the way the game's designed, it's just not meant for everyone per se?
Absolutely. That's definitely part of it, but I think it's meant for more people than you'd originally think, right? Like, I think there's a hunger in the gaming community right now for games that are challenging and are rewarding to get better at by investing time. I think that we've had such a long, significant period of, I would say, I guess, like games that lack content and both lack a challenge, right? So games that give you, that really feed into that instant gratification. We've had that for like 10 to 15 years straight now, I'd argue. And I think people are getting to be over it. Like most gamers really, really are hungry for these challenges. I think you see that a lot in the popularity of the Soulsborne type series and a lot of these more hardcore shooters. So Tarkov definitely, I think that's exactly the itch that Ko is talking about a lot of time in these tweets for, you know, what this game does for him. Because he's somebody that has played almost every single game that's come out over the last 10 years, right? So he's seen it all. He knows what's out there. And I think he understands like the massive amount of value that's in Tarkov. So I would say the only thing that maybe holds it back is, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it without a tutorial, some people will not be capable of making it happen, or just unwilling, or maybe just completely unknowing, like ignorant to the fact that there are broadcasters out there that will answer their every question, or have tons of YouTube tutorials that are really well thought out and explained and well created, right? So you have to be willing to be able to sift through that kind of content. And we know firsthand from Nikita that there will never be a tutorial for this game. It will never be like an in-game thing, right? He said firsthand, like, this is the kind of game that his vision includes having to figure it out on your own and going to community members to learn more. And he's super into that. And so am I. And honestly, obviously, as a content creator that really enjoys teaching, like, it's a dream, right, for me. So that would probably be like the only thing that kind of keeps the numbers somewhat limited.
Well, that's like the fun thing. One of the fun things outside of always playing with you is, you know, we have a good time and you know, I think we have good rapport, but you always, like, I always feel like I learned something from you, whether you're teaching or I'm just like, yo, he just did this, and like now I'll know to do this next time. So with, you know, with all the new people coming to your channel and things like that, has there been like 1 or 2 or 3 common questions that you get, and then how do you respond to those? The
funny thing is like the game is complicated enough that there is no common question.
Really?
So most people end up coming in and just they recognize how complicated it is, and hats off to them, because the most common question is, what tip do you recommend you need to tell me to figure things out here? Like, what do I need to know, right? Like, that's really it. What's the number one thing you can tell me that's going to help me in this game? And I think people are going into a lot of channels and asking that specifically, and they probably get like a nice wide variety of great information as a result. So it's a good strategy on their end.
So what do you, when someone's, all right, I'm Johnny 17.
Yeah.
Saying,
hey Johnny 17, welcome to the channel, man.
Yo, hey, I just saw you take out 5 PMCs with ease. You got a boomstick that on your back that is longer than. Oh.
Scav. Stacking. Eyes. Dead. Second one. That's a player. That's a get down situation. He's camping the extract there.
Okay, I didn't make it down the ramp. I'm still up here.
Okay. Yep, you're good there. Let's see what I can do.
So you think he's extract camping?
He is. Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's over there in the bushes, and unfortunately, he might have a thermal, which may make this a little bit more difficult. We will see.
If I'm looking at Emercom, you think he's right or left?
Left.
Okay.
Left of the actual extract.
Okay.
I'm on the move.
Okay. I won't shoot.
You can actually throw shots. Definitely throw some shots.
Just-
You
I'm gonna
don't
shoot
have
towards
to
the left.
peek. You don't even have to peek. And any shots will help me kind of figure things out here.
You get any movement?
No movement yet. Nope. Though I do have a pretty good angle. I like where I'm at right now.
Oh, sorry. I forgot you could hear that. I just yeeted a mag. I'm
No,
sorry.
that was awesome.
All right.
We appreciate the eats here, no doubt.
All right. So I want to finish up that question, but also I want us to make it out with
Yep.
$1 billion in each of our backpacks.
I'd say start moving down the ramp and just zigzag.
Okay.
And I will do my best to punish him for any shots.
Are you left? Where are you
I'm at a truck towards the actual extract on the road.
Okay. What color is the truck?
This is a green with like a pickup in it. There's a bed in this.
Oh, I got shot from the left.
Yep.
Oh, baby. I think he got shot from the left of the ramp. He's pushing me.
I'm moving. There's more than one here.
It was a scav.
Okay, he's
behind the bus.
actually in the bushes.
Eddie!
I'm coming, bud.
He's if you're coming back, he's on the front side of the.
Yeah, there's more than one.
Okay, I got 2 scavs down, but I'm in trouble.
Yep.
So I'm crouching on one side of the bus. And I'm healing. Where are you at? Because I don't want to pop you.
I am at 2 metal sheets with like a industrial light at it. It's on the road here.
All right, I'm basically
It's like
at
a
the
little
end.
blockade.
Okay, I'm basically at the end of the ramp right now.
He's in the woods now, like off to the left.
Okay, so if I wrap right, I should hopefully be okay.
Uh,
I'm looking at
Fingers
Emma Con, I'm
crossed.
sorry.
yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry for the panic.
No,
All right,
all
I'm
good.
coming.
This is a panic situation, man.
All right, where's
I
your
hear you
loca-
behind me.
Okay. Okay, I see you. You're behind the metal sheets. I got you.
Yep.
All right. So I'm coming up right behind you.
Yep. I'm down, Dan. Oh, you hate to see it.
No.
Yeah, I think he has a thermal. So he only has a sniper from what I've seen. So you may just be able to yeet towards extract.
What the heck, dude?
Damn. I knew he was over
That's
there
not
somewhere. I just
right.
couldn't spot him. GG. GG. Yeah, it was very dark in there, man. Very dark.
Mark,
Oh, it's all good.
Should I camp your body?
No, he definitely knows there's 2 of us, so I don't think he'll move up until he gets the second kill.
All right, dude. I rarely feel terrible in this game.
No, it's fun.
No,
It was a great raid.
It's the most terrible I've ever felt in Tarkov.
Dan, I look at every raid. I was just talking about this morning. I get into a raid, and my only objective is to have fun. That's it. Every single raid. And that raid right there is as much as I could ever ask for.
Well, I just you did everything.
I want you to get out though. I think if you what I was saying is I think if you push extract, you may be able to make it happen. Because he has to hit a pretty crazy shot as long as you're like running, and if you get to extract and find like a decent little bit of cover, might be able to make it out.
So you're thinking that's like the best plan?
I think that's the best play. It's very difficult to try and spot and get that shot off on him if he's gonna play the bushes with thermal there.
Do you think he's just waiting and
Yes.
camping the exit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exit though?
He's far enough off to the left that I think if you push and you stay on, you can just jump over the railing on the wall, you know what I mean, and lay down next to that truck, and you're pretty well covered as long as you're on the side that we came, you know what I mean, off to the right. against the wall.
All right, here we go. So as we wrap things here, when Johnny17 comes in and he says, Markstrom, what's your best advice?
Yeah, my number one bit of advice is 100%. Yeah, so he's in the big thicket of trees. Yep, out that way where you just
like
go.
right there.
Yeah.
I'm nervous, dude. I'm nervous. Am I going into the one-shot meat grinder or what?
I mean, he has to hit a headshot, assuming you have some armor on. I think he's rocking maybe like M80s based on the way he was shooting me. So you have a fort, and you know it could, even with 13 health on it, it could still do some work.
All right.
I don't know about your stamina situation of getting to the thing without running out from here.
Yeah,
it's gonna be close. Because you also have to make a jump. You know.
Okay. Well, scared money doesn't make money.
That's true. Pop a painkiller before you get. Oh, never mind. He's off.
Oh, he's got thermal, right? So he could just pop me right here and it could be over.
Yeah. Which is scary.
I don't have any more PKs, unfortunately.
It's a theory that he has a thermal, I think, but yeah, nothing on you. You got this. I will give you that tidbit of info. I will, but you gotta get out. You gotta earn it, Dan.
I will know. If I hear the crack, it's over. So I got to save my stam here for the jump.
Yep.
Hit the deck now.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2. Markstrom, the man in the iron chair.
Let's go!
He sacrificed himself for the greater good of actually not being the greater good, but getting us out in one piece. So Johnny17 says, Markstrom, I just saw you drag a subpar player through the end with a backpack full of gear. What's your best advice for me, Johnny17?
Prioritize ammunition in your kit over everything. At level 5, you unlock the flea market. Every ounce of rubles that you have should be prioritized towards rocking the best ammo for the caliber of the gun that you are running, which needs to be either 5.45, 5.56, or 308. One of those three. So you need to be using BS rounds for 5.45, M995, or M855A1s.
Hold on. I'm writing this down.
Oh,
BS
yeah.
5.45, okay.
Yup, BS for 5.45, M995, or with the exorbitant cost of M995 right now, alternative is M855A1, and that's for 5.56 ammo.
Okay.
Or M80s for 308.
And then what about 7.62?
7.62 by 3.9 is of the past, and I know that that's not what you want to hear, Dan. But I know
that renders Jackie useless.
It's not ideal. I no one's more upset by it than me, Dan. That was my go-to for as long as I can remember. This was the bread and butter. But 7.62 by 3.9 unfortunately does not fly very well and does not register very well in the current state of the game.
So you get an AKMS, you don't even use it.
I have avoided the ammunition all throughout point 12.
Wow.
Which you hate to see. You know, I have my whole chat telling me that BPM
MarkstromTV BP ammo is the best 7.62 by 3.9 round.
And while that's true, I really think that it's significantly subpar to the three that I just listed.
Well, coming from your analytical background, your medical background, the extensive gameplay strategy that you put into this, I mean, I would have a hard time refuting. Like, you may have just crushed my dreams in terms of 7.62 guns, but you probably just saved a lot of heartbreak for me and many others as well.
Well, I hope it helps. But yes, so run 1 mag in the gun, 1 mag in your rig, and all your extra ammo in the gamma. So don't risk a ton because it is very pricey. Ammunition is definitely at a premium right now. But the reason is just because it's the most important thing. So prioritize that before you start adding a bunch of attachments and running crazy armor.
You know, haven't played Tarkov for 2+ years. You've just blown my mind and kind of just deconstructed my priority of loot. Like just complete. I mean, in one sentence, you just. I'm not saying you destroyed how I play Tarkov, but I'm not saying that. Well, that makes sense. Markstrom, thanks so much for coming on, setting the tone early, setting the bar high for the duo stick. Can you tell the people dialing in, whether after the fact on the podcast or live now on Twitch, where they can find you and your schedule and all the good stuff? Because the other thing we didn't talk about too, real quick, is I know you've been dialed into Twitch, but with this new Tarkonnissance, has that impacted your YouTube thoughts at all in terms of what you got brewing in the kitchen?
Yeah, I actually before the Tarkonnissance, I'm working on a pretty special project for some of the newer players right now that I'm excited about. So keep your eyes peeled to youtube.com/MarkstromTV.
And I'm not asking for you to give us the entire playbook, but you know, can we get in a little exclusive? Maybe just peel the curtain back for like a half second. And
I can say this: things are very under wraps, but I can say this. It's a topic that's not covered, and it is by far one of the most important topics for new players.
Oh,
there's
could
no
be a hot take.
Absolutely a hot take. So,
all right, Mark. So, can you tell everyone when you're live and where they can find you on multiples, including your Instagram, where I noticed you've upped your game there as well, which has been awesome to see.
I appreciate that. I've been working on it. So again, all of my socials for Twitter, YouTube, and Insta are all at MarkstromTV. And live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Markstrom. We get started bright and early. So if you want to start your day right, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, we're live, and we're in the great land of Tarky.
What days do you normally go live?
Every day other than Saturday.
And then 6:30 to roughly when?
So we've been experimenting with the new 2-a-day schedule. So 6:30 to around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then we get started. We take a break and start it again at 1 p.m. Eastern to try and hook up some of the West Coast audience.
Yo, dude,
so another 1 to 5.
Dude, I love playing with you. I love talking inside baseball with you, man. I'm so happy, for all your hard work and culminating to this moment, but beyond, and everything you're doing. But dude, thank you so much for coming on, and we got to do some proper duos in the very, very short future.
I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you very much. I was super stoked to see that you were doing some duos today, and yeah, a full day, anytime you want, man. I definitely owe you one. And please don't let me plug and run. You gotta drop it as well, my friend. No, this is a two-way street, Dan. It's a two-way street, Dan. I won't have any no's.
But you plugged and I looted. That kind of. No, real quick, man. Live on twitch.tv/DanGheesling. What's we lack in strategical knowledge and gameplay, we try to make up for having a lot of fun, and I think that's why Markstrom and I play well. He's very, very dialed in at the game and can also have a lot of fun, but it makes it a lot of fun, I think, for me and also the audience on this side. But yeah, twitch.tv/DanGheesling, DanGheesling everywhere else. Also, Markstrom, I'm gonna hit you with something. I'm gonna hit you with a hot take as the last thing, and I'm gonna put you on it because I think you need to be on it. TikTok/DanGheesling. Dude,
yeah, I know. I know.
I'm telling you, it is the Wild West. The real estate it's less than free.
Do you find yourself falling into the rabbit hole of video making that I see a lot of people mentioning? Like, I feel like TikTok has taken over lives, and I don't want to lose you, Dan.
No, in terms of inside baseball, like, you want to get prospects, there's no scouts over there. It's just, there's a bunch of heavy hitters.
All right.
But I'll DM you about it.
I'll keep it in mind. Really cool. Absolutely. All right, brother.
All right. Good luck on the raids today.
Yeah. Have a great day, dude.
All right. Later, buddy.
Later.
Chat, can you guys please link up?
Good guy, Dan Gheesling. The best in the business. Great guy, man. One of our longtime friends of the channel.